On the Sit on Floxa TV.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to the On-Sit program on Floxy TV. I'm your host, Favor, and today we'll be talking politics. We have on seat Honorable John Oyelami. Please join me. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Mm. Would I say you're welcome to?
Whichever you want to say, it's fine. You're welcome to the show. So, we'd like you to lead us a little into your background. Tell us who Honorable John Oyelami is.
Okay. My name is Oyelami John Oliwaboyi.
Okay.
I'm a native of Oyo State. I'm born and bred in Oyo Town in Oyo State. From Atiba local government, I had my primary and secondary school education in Oyo Town. I had my BSc in architecture from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State. Also, my MSc in architecture from the same institution. I'm a practicing architect. I'm a youth advocate, and I'm also nominated to be member of the Nigerian Parliament for the fifth session to represent Oyo Central Senatorial District. I think that's all I can say for now.
All right, that's fine. Okay, so sir, you contested for the Nigerian Youth Parliament Speakership, but then you lost to your female counterpart. What happened? Can you lead us to what exactly happened?
I would love to correct you. Well, you won't say I lost. I know probably you might have heard about issues that might have come up due to the election. I would say it's like I was robbed. I was nominated alongside 108 other members of the Nigerian Parliament to represent different senatorial districts as stipulated by the Nigerian Constitution. Um, we had our first sitting, or let me say inaugural sitting here in Abuja at the National Assembly, in the Senate. And at the inaugural sitting, we had to elect who the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Parliament would be, which I contested for. Prior to this, I did my campaign. I traveled to almost all the states of the federations. I met almost all my prospective colleagues. We had an election whereby seven of us contested to be the Speaker of the Parliament. And out of 109 members, 99 were present that day. So we had an election and I had 32 votes out of 99. The person that came second had 30 votes. The person that came third, I think, had 13 votes, followed by someone who had 9 votes, then another person with 7 votes, then another person with 3 votes, then another person with 1 vote. So instead of me to be declared and returned as the Speaker of the Youth Parliament, the next thing we got to see was the clerk of the Parliament announcing that there will be a rerun election, or we like call it a runoff between myself and the person that came second. Where in the whole wide world is this done? We wanted to revolt, we wanted to talk about it. Like they said, we can't say anything, and it's very, very annoying. So they did their thing. Later we got to know it was the Speaker of the House of Representative Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila that called the clerk to do that. That was the rumor we later heard. So they brought up the idea of them calling for another election, and we couldn't do anything about it because we don't have the. A lot of people wanted to come into the parliament that day and revolt against it, but they were not allowed to come in. And myself and my people can't do that alone. So they did the other election. Before the election, the House of Rep Speaker is aid on youth. One man called Ali Balogun, he came in, started sharing dollars to, I think $100 to the delegates, members that will vote. So at the second round of the election, they did their thing and they brought the results. They said I had 40, 8 votes. My counterpart, this person that came second the other time, had 50 votes, and there was one void vote. Now, the most annoying thing was that the first election, the main reason why they said we are having a runoff or a run, as they might have called it, is because they felt there were 3 invalid votes, and I had the distance between myself and the runner was 2 votes. They said there will be a rerun or runoff because of that. Now, immediately they brought out that result, I and some of my supporters left the parliament. Later, I think after some hours, some people started calling me and they told me that when I left, they had another election for the seat of the deputy speaker. And the same thing that happened during my own election happened, whereby the person that came first had 30 votes, and the person that came second had 28 or 27 votes. 3 difference, and there was 3 void votes. So they never called for a rerun. They declared the person the winner of the election, the same way they should have done that. So I felt embarrassed. It's a slap on the democracy we are shouting all around in this nation. And the election is coming in 2023 now. I don't know how there will be a free and fair in this election in this nation. It's really saddening. I think that's all that happened. But after all, I believe you can't get judgment having a wrong on a wrong. I proceeded to the Federal High Court, and the matter is still in court as we speak. So we hope for the best. So that's all I have to say about it.
Okay, so the matter is still in court. Do you have intentions of withdrawing it anytime?
I don't have any intention of withdrawing the matter. The fact remains that justice must prevail. I have good intentions for the parliament. That's why I contested for the seat of the Speaker of the Parliament. So, and they played their game. We got to know a lot of them were saying after I'm from a state where we have a PDP governor, I'm nominated by a PDP government. That's why they had to do that kind of thing. But this is a matter of the youth. It should not be that politicized. So my own is we have the case in front of the judge. Whatever he feels is the best, he should decide for us. I don't have any intention of withdrawing the case any time from now. So I think that's all I have to say about that.
All right. Thank you very much. So, what is the role of your state government?
I got I did some amount of support from the state government. My commissioner for youth and sport, Honorable Shimfarkorede, who I was nominated from his office, he supported me, and I got 1 or 2 supports too from the state government. Though I felt bad as none of the government official was practically present with me on the day of the election. We had even people who weren't having any chance of winning the election, like they had support from their state. The Ogun State government sent the special assistant to the governor on youth affairs, the commission. All of them were on ground for someone that contested for the same seat from Ogun State. From Lagos State, a lot of them were on ground. Even from Bayelsa State, someone contested and had 8 votes. The commissioner was on seats. I believe if we've had representatives from my state on ground on the day of the election, if my commissioner or my special advisor or special assistant to the governor on youth was on seats, I think this game or political game they played on us would have not been easily practiced that day. So, but I got a lot of support from the state government, and I still wish I can get more, because we are not at the end of the road yet. The journey has just started. We are in the judiciary. Whatever support they can give to me at this point, I will be happy.
Upon your resumption into your office, what has been your achievement, considering your predecessors like Adetayo Adekunle we've seen the achievements. So, what has been your achievement?
Honorable Adetayo Adekunle is my brother, is my leader. Is even from the same zone like I am from. He was the member that represented this same Oyo Central Senatorial District in the third session. I see the third session as the most achieved session of the Nigerian Youth Parliament. From the third session, we've not really had a parliament like the third session. In fact, from my own personal rating of all the five parliaments we have so far, the third session did very well, better than others. I also have a colleague who was in the fourth session from Oyelami local government, but you can't compare his achievement to that of Prince Adetayo. So, but in my own case, the election happened December 8th, 2021. A lot of things have played out within that period. The fact that in court to seek justice, the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport have seen it as a form of fight against them, which is not. I have the right to go to court and challenge whatever I feel is wrong. It doesn't mean I'm fighting you. It is not. I'm not just clear about something. It's we brought an originating summon to the Federal High Court. It's just for the court to interpret the standing order with whatsoever happened during the so-called inauguration. Then they will give a verdict. So the truth is, they wrote a letter to my state government that the state government should replace me. They should send someone else. So it has been hell from the point of me rejecting the results of. They've sent several letters, and the state government are also have been replying them. So I've not even, in fact, in the court case, they brought out a primary objection stating that I am not a member of the parliament. They sent a primary objection that I don't have the local standing to take them to court. So these are things the court will rule. I think the next sitting date is October 6th. So these are things the court will rule over. In as much as we have great plans we want to execute for people, youths of Oyo Central Senatorial District, but there are some things that is yet to be clarified. In fact, myself, because of this fight for justice, I don't know if I'm truly a member of the fifth session of the Nigerian Parliament. So when the court rules on me having a local standing to take them to court, that means the court is saying yes, I'm a bona fide member of the youth parliament. Then we start having a lot of activities. So this issue of court case fight has been really delaying a lot of things. We have plans that myself and my team have laid down for youth in the Central Senatorial District. In fact, we want to organize a competition, that's a mathematics competition for youths, I mean students, around 11 local governments of Oyo Central Senatorial District. I think this will be a booster for youth and students to take their academics serious. And yeah, these are things we want to do. So, but let's see what happens in the next court sitting. So I think the court sitting, there will be a ruling over the primary objection. Then we'll know where we're going. Thank you.
All right, sir. So, do you think the present political hemisphere, like the space they've given to the youth, is favorable to the youth? Do you think it's fair to the youth of Nigeria?
In Nigeria right now?
Yeah.
When we talk about politics in Nigeria, a lot of people don't look at it from the economy point of view. You know, when I hear politics personally, I remember there is political economy. In Nigeria today, for you to be regarded as a big politician, you must have money. And how many youths in Nigeria can boast of, okay, I have 20 million in my account? No. A lot of them, a lot of us, let me say us, we can't boast of that. Um, yes, the youth want the youth to rule, but how do you get to power? You spend money. The rate at which poverty has impoverished, let me put it that way, people in Nigeria, due to a lot of bad governance, corruption we've had in the past. For you to be something, you spend a huge lot of money. I was speaking with a friend, a senior friend. He was elected member of the House of State Assembly in 2019. So I was speaking with him that can he just calculate how much he spent summarily to get to that position. He was telling me he spent around 30 million naira to get there. How many youths in Nigeria can boast of 30 million naira? Or it's not even just 30 million, because before you spend 30 million sensibly as a person on a project, on a political project, you must be at least worth 100 million personally. So the political space is, I would say, is fair to the youth, because there is this rule of not too young to rule. You, if you are 25, you can contest for the seat of House of Assembly member. If you are 30, you can contest for the seat of Federal House of Reps member. If you are even 35, you can be a senator of the Federal Republic. But a lot of things are also there. A lot of factors are there that are not formal. People don't look at the money you spend to get to this position. Now you can't contest a seat and you tell us you are going there to contest without spending money. We know how elections go on in this nation. Though these are not good things we're supposed to be talking about, but they are important, very important factors. So I would say the system formally is fair for the youth, but when you look at it in depth, it is not. It is not. So that's what I want to say about it.
Okay, let's talk about the 2023 general elections coming up.
Okay.
What do you think about these contenders, from Atiku to Peter Obi to Asiwaju?
We have Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have Peter Obi, Governor Peter Obi. We have former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. They are all frontliners. I believe the next president of this nation is between the three of them, you know. But when we look at it categorically, they all have, the three of them, they have their strong points, they have their weak points, you know. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a leader. When it comes to Nigerian politics, he's someone that has raised a lot of people. The likes of Femi Gbajabiamila, the House of Reps Speaker, the likes of Aregbesola, they were said to have left from the political country home of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But the truth is, there are a lot of weaknesses in the campaign too. The first one is he trying to preach continuity to Nigeria of the APC government. A lot of Nigerians don't believe the APC government has done it so well to deserve another time. So this is a weakness to his campaign. Secondly, a lot of people have issues with his age, his health status, you know. Thirdly, a lot of people have big problem about people from the southern part of this nation, which are, they are predominantly Christians. They have issues with the fact that he has picked a Muslim like himself as his running mate. That makes a Muslim ticket, which has never happened in the history of this nation. This nation is an heterogeneous community when it comes to religion, and with major religion that is Islam and, you know, and Christianity. So since 1999, we've never had the president and vice presidents to be Muslims or to be Christians. We've never had the same faith ticket. Even if you check the first, the second, and the third republic, you can never see anything like that. That's never happened. So, but the fact that he confidently picked a Muslim like himself to run is if you look at it very well, it's an issue to people from the southern part of this nation. So when we look at Vice President Atiku Abubakar, yes, he has his strong points. So yes, Atiku is a very articulate man. Someone that can tell you. But a lot of people also have issues with. He has his weak points too. A lot of people don't believe in that he can, hold on to his words. The likes of a lot of corruption cases he had in the past are still haunting him. Peter Obi, who is said to be the masses favorite and is so loved on the social media, his own major problem is he doesn't have a viable structure. He's running under the Labour Party, which is seen as let me put it. There's a particular word I want to use. They don't see a lot of people don't see the party as a contender. The party, not the candidate, because they believe the party doesn't have a structure. When we talk about party structure, the Labour Party cannot be compared to the PDP and the APC. So the three of them has their weak point, they have their strong point. But we hope for the best in 2023. My what I'm very particular about is people should make their choices irrespective of religious affiliation or ethnic or tribal affiliation, and the election should be free and fair, and that's the most important thing. Thank you.
Okay, so you made mention of the support coming majorly from the social media for P2B. Do you think this support is able to bring a positive result at the end, the upcoming 2023 elections?
Hmm. You said it that the support is having from the social media. Now, this is how we rate it. How many Nigerians are on the social media? A lot of Nigerians on the social media are from the southern and also the north central part of this nation. I've traveled far and wide. When you travel to some states in Nigeria, you know that a lot of Nigerians are not on the media. Go to states like, let me take Jigawa. Jigawa is a state that was removed from Kano State. If you go to Jigawa today, Peter Obi cannot win. Go to states like Zamfara. Zamfara is a state removed from Sokoto State. I see those states have villages where you get to and you see a lot of illiterate people, and you see the rate at which poverty has eaten up to the foundation of this nation. Go to a state like Yobe State. Yobe State is a state removed from Borno State. If you go to all these states I'm mentioning to you, they are states that in an area you hardly see 2 or 3 people that is using an Android phone. Let's be realistic. So when we talk about social media support, it's basically from the southwest, from the south, and also the southeastern part of this, and a lot of people in the north central. So, but the issue I have with this social media, and the true point is, a lot of people that clamor on the social media are not even in Nigeria. They won't vote. There are people in diaspora, and the election is happening here in Nigeria. So I personally don't see those social media clamor translate into votes for Governor Peter Obi in 2023. But the fact remains that so far, out of all the contenders, I personally see him as the best. He's the best candidate you can have if truly you want a better Nigeria. A sensible person should know that Peter Obi is the best. But realistically, we know it's very hard for him to win the 2023 election. Yeah. I personally, this is my own personal point of view. I see the winner of the election between Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Thank you.
All right. What is your take on the same fate ticket of the APC?
I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Nigeria is an heterogeneous community. when it comes to religion. And the fact remains that um, when it comes to religion, there are actually other people who practice other religions. We have traditional worshippers in Nigeria, but majorly we have Christians and Muslims. In leadership, when choosing leaders in most developed part of the world, religion should not be the major thing or the first thing to look at. In fact, in a working system, religion should not even be part of the criteria to choose a leader. It should not. But my own fear, personally, is the state of the nation. Currently, Nigeria is battling a lot of insurgencies. In fact, let me say a lot of battles. We have the Boko Haram, we have the ISWAP, which is start to be an Islamic terrorist terrorist group. Yes, ISWAP is an Islamic terrorist group that has been disturbing the northeastern part of this nation. We have the bandits. They are across almost everywhere, but majorly in the northwestern part of this nation. And all these Muslim people are said to be Muslims. So at this point, I feel the Muslim ticket is a very, very, very hard thing to put up at this point if the unity of this nation is being considered. I personally feel at this point, security wise, we have issues of terrorism that is linked to Islam. So at this point, I don't feel any political party should bring up the Muslim ticket. I don't feel, but they feel. I think the camp of the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu feels they can only get enough votes from the north if they pick a Muslim, because only a Muslim is most acceptable to the northerners. But the fact remains that when you look at Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, what happened? Ivory Coast, that's Cote d'Ivoire. What happened some years ago when Alassane Ouattara and Laurent Gbagbo contested against each other? Like we have in Nigeria, the Ivory Coast is also a West African state. Most West African states, they have their northern part to be predominantly Muslim and the southern part to be predominantly Christians, because the whites came in through the Atlantic Ocean into Nigeria. So the places they entered first was Lagos, Port Harcourt. These are reasons why people in the southern part are predominantly Christians. And from Niger, from northern Africa, from Morocco, from Egypt, Arabians too entered. So that was what made those people in northern. So the same thing happened in Cote d'Ivoire some years ago, whereby we had an election that was very violent. We had an election between Laurent Gbagbo, who is from southern Cote d'Ivoire, northern Cote d'Ivoire. It led to a lot of religious war, religious fight, which is not necessary for a nation. So that is my fear about this same faith ticket. I don't have issues with anybody becoming anything, but the point is, at this particular state of Nigeria, where this country is being trampled by Boko Haram, ISWAP, which are Islamic terrorist group, we shouldn't be talking about Muslim ticket. That is my point.
Do you think PDP is fair to Nigeria with their northern candidates, considering the fact that the president Buhari already spent 8 years on seats? Do you think they are going against their own constitution, section 7 subsection 2c, that states that there should be rotation of power with both presidential candidates and party chairmen coming from the same zone?
About the PDP issue, the PDP, if we look at it clinically, like critically, if we should look at it critically, the PDP has been in power. They were in power within between 1999 and 2015. President Olusegun Obasanjo was the president for 8 years till 2007. He gave the power to a northerner, that's Yaradua. But fortunately or unfortunately, Yara did not spend 2 years. He died. Then the vice president, who was a southerner, Goodluck Jonathan, became the president. He spent the remaining 2.5 years and also was elected again as president for another 4 years. He left power in 2015. So should I say the South has spent 14 years in power under the People's Democratic Party, whereby it did not spend less than 2 years? So personally, if that's an argument of people who think yes, Atiku should have it. But some people are arguing with the fact that the APC, that's President Muhammadu Buhari, has spent 8 years, we should have a southerner. Yes, people have different arguments, but none is constitutional. I about the chairman of the party, if let me let you know something. If these things are constitutional, we'll have seen people challenge all these things in court. um Governor Wike is the seasoned lawyer. Yes, he's a barrister of the law. So his wife is a barrister. So we have a lot of them that are barristers. They know about the law. If it is constitutional that the chairman of the party and uh, the presidential candidate of the party should not come from the same zone, they would have challenged these things in court, and the court would have given justice. But they are not constitutional. They are just these things are just they are just conventional. Oh, this is how we do it. They are just traditional. This is how we do it. This is how something has been. Some people are saying something the other day. I overheard them that, oh, the Senate president must have been a second or third timer. No, those things are not. They are not constitutional. They are just conventional. This is how we do it. Yes. So personally, the point remains that the team of Governor Wike, they contested against Atiku Abubakar, and Atiku Abubakar outsmarted them. He has won the seat to be the presidential candidate of the PDP. The fact remains that he believes so much in the chairman of the party, and he can't go to the election without a chairman of the party that is loyal to him. So the clamour that Ayu, the national chairman, should resign, it's baseless. It's very baseless, because it is whoever that is comfortable with the the presidential candidate I work with. A lot of people are not saying this. If you look into history very well, in 2006, when Atiku Abubakar was at loggerhead with his boss, former President Olusegun Obasanjo. He wanted to be president, but Obasanjo said no. He left the party into AC. This same Ayu has been loyal to Atiku since then. In fact, when Atiku Abubakar went to AC, he made Ayu the DG of his campaign. So their relationship did not just start today. So at this point, you can't just say he should resign because of a tradition. So I personally don't believe in that fight that they've brought up those arguments to buttress. So thank you.
What is your take on Wiki and the PDP crisis?
I just stated those things now. We had an election. PDP had an election in, is it the National Stadium or their convention? They had it in Abuja here, and there was an election, a free and fair election. Everything that happened, the fact that Tambuas, they are all politics. There was an election, there was no rigging, there was nothing. Someone emerged as the winner of the election. And is the presidential candidate of the PDP for the February 25th election in 2023. So he has the right to choose those who he will work with. It is never constitutional that the chairman of the party should resign because the presidential candidate is from the northern part of this nation. If Governor Shemakinde and Governor Wike, their team, they are fighting Atiku Abubakar, it is based on personal relationship or personal agreements they've had between themselves. So if at this point Atiku Abubakar is claiming is comfortable with Ayu being the chairman of the party, they should concur with him and talk about other things. I don't believe in the fight of Wike and Atiku because the fact remains that they don't have a choice. All these people you are talking about, all these governors, they have the way they do their things in their states too. In Oyo State primaries, governorship primary, Seyi Makinde was vetoed to be the governorship candidate. There are three senatorial candidates for the PDP. He vetoed the people he wanted to be senatorial candidates. There are 14 House of Reps members. He vetoed those who he wanted to. So, and this happened in other states too. The same thing Wike did is in his own state. The same thing Otom did in Benue State. The same thing Gwanyi did in Enugu State. So the fact remains that they have a lot of things to lose. The fact that they are having meetings with other presidential candidates of other parties, what do they have to offer them? The election of the president, that of the Senate and House of Reps takes place the same day. If they should work with another presidential candidate, they will lose out. Their own sons and political daughters in different constituencies, in different senatorial districts will lose out. And the only thing they can promise, the biggest thing they can promise them in those other parties they are going to is ministerial appointment. Is that as good as you having 2 senators at least in your state, at least 5 House of Rep members to be your own sons, and on the long run win your own election too? The same Governor Otom is contesting for Senate under PDP. What else does he want? And the election will take them the same time, the same minute with the presidential. So they don't have an option. I only feel they should play all these games. They just to get some kind of assurance from Atiku that okay, yes, you have this when you will later win the election. But the fact that they are going on here to bring up a lot of issues, I feel they are taking the fight too much. They are taking it too far. So that's my stand.
Okay, so considering how they are taking this fight now, what do you think will be the implication of this crisis between Wike and the PDP in the upcoming 2023 election?
We don't know what will happen. But I feel the PDP should be able to resolve whatever internal crisis they have. Thank God, Atiku Abubakar is an experienced politician. He's a former vice president. He should be able to resolve the internal crisis they have. He also knows that Governor Wike, Governor Seyi Makinde, and some other governors that are having issues with them, they have a very strong stake. The fact that Atiku needs them is also the fact that they also need Atiku to win, to have some votes. So the only thing they need to know is united they stand, divided they will fall. So I believe Vice President Atiku Abubakar should be able to manage them. They are his boys. When Atiku Abubakar was vice president, Wike was local government chairman. in Rivers State. So he should be all, just be able to manage the situation. He should call them, negotiate things with them. Then I also advise the Wike Seyi Makinde faction to, they should take it cool. Yes, they've lost out in the primaries. So the fact that they've lost out cannot be changed. So you can't have everything. And Atiku Abubakar will not want to go into 2023 elections with a national chairman that is not loyal to him. No, they also know it. They know it. Wike too will never allow someone that is not loyal to him to lead his own campaign too. No. So they should be fair when they are talking about terms and conditions of them working together. When they are making agreements, they should be fair on Atiku Abubakar too. I think that's what I have to say.
What is your advice to the Nigerian youths as elections are approaching, as the general elections are approaching?
Um, my major advice to Nigerian youths is, this is the time to make a mark. Um, Nigerian youths have seen Peter Obi right now as their savior, but I will advise them that it might not happen in 2023, but we have to make our voice known. In 2011, General Muhammadu Buhari then, he contested and had 7 million votes. When they formed the APC in 2014, that was the point of argument for Buhari to emerge as the presidential candidate of the APC. His argument was, I have 7 million votes already. Give me the ticket and I will win. The same thing is happening right now. In 2019, Atiku Abubakar contested and had 12 million votes. This was the same argument he was using to preach in the PDP when he was campaigning to be the candidate. Like, give me this ticket, I have 12 million votes already, we'll win. So I feel if we want a better Nigeria, if all of us, we youths, are convinced that Peter Obi is the best man we can have, let us support him. Support Peter Obi if you are convinced. Peter Obi is our man. Give him the support. Let's know the number of votes Peter Obi will have in 2023. Even if it is 2 million votes, yes, it's something. So this will give a form of boost, or a form of morale as we approach another election. Whoever wins, if it is Atiku, if it is Tinubu, we'll see if he will perform or not. If he doesn't, then we'll know we have a hope somewhere, which is Peter Obi, that can come up in the major opposition party in forthcoming elections after 2023. So we should support whoever we want to support, and we should try and make sure the election is a free and fair one in whichever polling unit we find ourselves. I think that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. So you've heard it all. That's it on the Seat program today. Don't forget to like our pages, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channels. I'll be giving you the gist. Have a nice day.
On the Sit on Floxa TV.